Hey everyone, Martin Wenzel here. This is Microsoft Flight Simulator, and we are in Laayoune, Sahrawi, Democratic Republic. I'm stumbling all over the words. Western Sahara. And we're going to be flying to Gran Canaria, Las Palmas, Canary Islands, Spain. There's a lot to go into that one. A lot of different government institutions and all that. I don't know why this is saying it's going to be 1,403 nautical miles. I think I have that in wrong. Double check. Not that long of a flight. Yeah, that's right. I got the two letters mixed up. Golf Charlie Papa. There we go. 126, 27, 28 nautical miles. Not that long of a flight. It's going to take us probably 15 minutes. It's going to take us longer to get the plane started. Let's get going on it. We're going to kind of go as fast as possible. First, safety checks, making sure the circuit breakers are closed. Nose wheel steering switch was off there. Hydraulic pumps are all off. Landing gear lever is down. Can't move the thruster. Our flaps and slats are all not deployed, stowed away, whatever you say. Park and brake on. Landing gear, ADG all stowed. All this stuff is stowed away, looking good. Battery master switch. Turn that on. We do have external power, so turn that on as well. Back down here, we're going to turn on our nav. Those aligning. Hydraulic 3A pump as required. Not yet. All right, cabin inspection. Emergency light switch on. Get a better view. Emergency light switch on. No smoking. Seatbelt signs. Auto. And actually, what we're looking for is on the screen here. The emergency lights on. We're going to turn that off for now. All right, originating check. Internal and external pre-flight checks complete. Pedal, seat, and harness. Adjusted crew, oxygen, masks. Making sure everything's looking good here so far. Crew, oxygen, and masks checked. We can actually do here, there. Be able to do that. There we go. All right, electrical power panel. All gen switches set to auto. IDG disk switches are guarded. DC master switch is off, and battery master is on. Fire detection, fire monitor test. Fire system okay. External lights panel, right over here. Now, nav light on. The logo light on, and everything else will stay off. Fuel panel, fuel boost pumps are both off. Bleed air panel. We want the wing, AI crossfeed, bleed normal, bleed valves auto, ISOL open, and bleed source both engines. APU panel as required, so we're going to start our APU. Actually, before much further, let's get the passengers coming on board. We're using Pack X today. Fly career mode. Golf Mike Lima to Golf Charlie Lima Papa. 14,000 our crews. We're not even gonna get that high. Flight time 34 minutes. Time until takeoff 24. 66 passengers on India Bravo 6103. Enter 610. I don't have anything custom. We'll put flight to Wi-Fi all plane. All the passengers are coming on board. Got our localized names. If we have time, we'll go through them. Got a few tourists going to the Canaries. And we need to actually add some more fuel. Today we need 2,948 for fuel. Actually, we're just going to do this right over here. We're going to do it the quick way today. Change to 0 fuel weight. 0 fuel weight today is 27.4. And fuel 2,900. Set the payload in the simulator. Copy that data to the FMS. And that's how we do it quickly. Now that we have all our fuel on board, we can start the APU. APU SOV open. Start. T and the RPM coming up. APU start.
Laayoune ground Binter 6103 requesting pushback.
Laayoune ground Binter 6103, no pushback tug is available to answer your request.
Alright, once we got the APU going, we're going to make sure our left and right engine switches are off. Ignition con switch is also off. Continuous ignition. On our hydraulic panel, we have the APU available. Alright, hydraulic panel, we want to turn on a 1, 3B, and 2. 1, 3B, 2. Got 3,000 PSI is between 45% and I believe 75% is where we need to be. So to turn all these on. Auto. And then 3A is on 3,000 right there. Alright, ELT switch right here, arm reset. Cabin pressure. Page we want to be on. Okay, right here. Just gonna check. Sure these are all in their position. For cabin pressure can change there. Let's do that. Landing at our airport elevation is 223 feet. There. Our man alt is in the center position. Emergency depress switch is off and guarded. Press control switch off and flushed, and manual rate is at full decreased. Back to stat. Back up here. We're kind of working across. And I'll turn on the air conditioning, reciprocal fans on. Temperature control mode is auto. Ram air switch off and guarded. Wing and cowl anti-ice switch off. Do our ice detector test. We're gonna skip that. Windshield switch is low. Emergency light switch arm. Turn on the seatbelts. No smoking. Standby compass. Stall test. That. Stall test. Complete.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I would
Those
love
wheel
to
steering
welcome
still
you
off.
aboard our
Clocks
flight.
are set.
When you find your seat, please
EFIS
place
control
your
panels
larger
checked.
carry-on items in the overhead bins and smaller items underneath the seat in front of you.
Actually, turn on
Unless you're in the
integrated
front row,
lighting.
please place all of your items in the overhead bin. you have any trouble finding a location for your carry-on items, please let a flight attendant know and we can have you continue. After you put your carry-on items in the overhead bin and it is full, make sure you close it as a courtesy to other passengers. Also be sure that the aisle is clear and sit down so that way other passengers can get by you. If you are seated in an emergency exit row, please review the exit seating responsibilities and the safety card provided for you. Please make sure that you are able and willing to perform these actions. If you're not, please let a flight attendant know so that we can easily see.
Alright, instrument panels, primary flight display. Check. Altimeter readout. Okay, we got 29.92, 29.92, but we're going to have to get the ATIS here.
Laayoune Airport information whiskey 13000. Wind 053 at 12. Visibility 3. Sky condition clear. Temperature 22. Dew point 10. QNH3 0.09er. ILS runway 02 in use. Landing and departing runway 04. DSR aircraft.
Doesn't look like ATC doesn't like to work with this plane, so we're probably just gonna end up doing a VFR flight. Hey James 9811, we are in the CRJ700. I didn't really do a great introduction. We're in the CRJ from Aerosoft, CRJ700. Turn down this camera. Spin around. Crazy. Smaller plane, 66 passengers today. Go inside we can. Hard to rotate. We do have seats in here. Hear the APU engine going. And we're flying from Laayoune, Western Sahara to where we're flying to the to the Canary Islands. Yeah, I flew the Airbus A320 this morning. I think next flight we're gonna fly the A320, and if all goes well, we'll probably just go right into that flight. We're gonna be flying to Portugal from Canary Islands. This flight's only about 20 minutes. So we'll do that flight next, and that will be in the A320. So stick around for that. And we might do two. Might do 3 flights in one stream here, if all goes well. Alright, altimeter readout. What I was doing. Checks out. We got 30.09 on all the screens. Multifunction display check. Go to the menu here. Nav. Alright. Anything else looking good? Anti-skid. Alright.
User bay overheat.
Doing all those tests. FMS, brake temperature, mute horn switch, landing gear down, engine sync switches N1 or N2, N1. Indicator light switch, either between bright or dim, and ground P-rock switch checked. There. We're just making sure everything is stowed. Our thrust reversers are off. Switches are down. Avionics. Yep. Good. Display fan switch is set to normal. That's gonna be right here. Right there. Backup mode selector switch. Stand by. IRS switches are at nav. Tab trim, mach switches. And our yaw damper. Or select all normal. Parking brake is set. Landing gear. Release handle is stowed. ADG is stowed. And our emergency flaps are normal. Okay, let's get into the FMS.
We're ready to go when you are.
Let's see which cameras I have here.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard Flight 6103 with service to Gran, Canary. Canaria.
And let's
Our flight
close
time will
our
be roughly 34
passenger
minutes.
door.
Now that the cabin door is closed, please make sure that all devices are Make sure that all tray tables and seat backs are in a full upright and locked position for departure. Cabin crew
Right, our
prepare doors for
airport
departure,
today
cross-check, verify straps,
bring
and
up
stand by for all calls.
the flight plan page. If I can find it. Right. Golf Mike Lima. Copy this down, set position, execute, jump into the flight plan. Golf Mike Lima. Going to Golf Charlie Papa Lima. Nope. Get the right airport in there. Lima Papa. And our alternate is Golf Charlie X-Ray Oscar. Execute. And then we will go to our next page. Our first point is going to be the VOR, Lima Alpha Yankee. We're gonna go airway. That's what it is. It's called an airway. Airway Whiskey 279er. This is so complicated. A little bit. This is a little bit more complicated than the A320 because a lot more of the systems are covered. Right, our performance. And a lot of stuff is automated too. Just go in the EFB. Saw that page right here. Right over here. Put in our cruise, which is going to be 14,000. Press this. Pull it right from here. Performance. Copy data to the FMS. And there it is. Execute. VNAV setup. Don't really need to change anything in here. Go back to our departures and arrivals. Departing. We're going to depart runway 4. Arrival, we're going to do ILS 03 Lima Yankee. Or left. Sorry. With the star, standard terminal arrival route, Costi 1 Papa. To our legs, and we want to check, make sure we have no discontinuities. Right. Got the flight plan for now. Back to. And yeah, basically we're ready to start. Passengers are all on board. Move the wheel chocks. Really don't need a pushback, so.
Laayoune ground, Vinter 610 tree with whiskey request taxi for takeoff straight out departure.
Vinter 610 tree taxi to and hold short of runway 04 via taxiway Alpha. Contact tower on 131.11 ready.
Taxiing hold short runway 04 via taxiway Alpha Vinter 610 tree.
Alright, so we turned on the right, or left and right fuel boost pumps. Altimeters are set, FMS and the IRS are set. Jump ahead. Radios and nav aids, set for departure. Everything's automatic. I need to put those for now. Okay, APU is on, papers are on board, takeoff data is set. No, it's not. It said it's set, but it isn't. It's gonna be right here. Now we can put this in manually, or go right here, performance, and set all automatically. for us. But we could go one of these. Friends. Doors. Let's make sure doors are closed so we don't have a big issue. Good. Doors closed. Beacon light on. Fuel pumps and fuel bump. Blah, 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 blah. Left boost and right boost pump are on for the fuel. Hydraulic pumps are auto and on already. Parking brake as required. Now we can start the engines. So we're gonna go right here. Start engine. We're gonna start the right engine first. I believe when it gets to 20%, that's when we're gonna put it to idle.
Of our aircraft. You will notice a light illuminated above your seat. When this light is illuminated, please fasten your seatbelt low and tight across your lap. To fasten, insert the metal fittings into one another and tighten by pulling on the loose end of the strap. To release your seatbelt, lift the upper portion of the buckle.
Right. Start left engine.
Throughout the flight as you may experience unexpected turbulence. Please take a few moments to now locate one of the
Gets
several
20% on the
emergency
N2.
exits on the aircraft. In some cases, your nearest exit may be behind
Push
you.
to idle.
In case of an emergency and we need to evacuate
Yeah, the flag I
aircraft,
have
there
is
is
the
lighting on the floor
Western
that will guide
Sahara,
you.
or a Western
In the event
Sahara
of a
flag.
decompression, an oxygen
I know it's a
mask will
disputed
drop
territory.
to start the flow of oxygen, hold the
Morocco
mask
does
towards
claim
you.
portion
Place
of it,
firmly
and
open
I
your nose and
believe
mouth. Secure the elastic band behind your head.
I want to say
Tighten the
Mali
straps if necessary,
does.
and breathe normally. Although the
I'm
bag
thinking of
is
the right
not
country,
empty, oxygen is flowing to the
but
mask.
or it might be
If you're
Mauritania
traveling with a
actually.
child or someone who
Mauritania and
requires
Morocco both have
assistance, secure your
claims
mask
to
on
Western
first and
Sahara.
then
Obviously, the
Keep your mask on
Harari
until a
people
member of the crew advises you to
are claiming independence, and so
In
I'm
the
putting
event
that
that the
because it
pilot
is a
decides to
disputed
take a
region,
direct way
and
in a fashionable
it is one of the
located
regions
in
we're
a box
checking off the
underneath
list,
the
even
armrest.
though it
When
is
it's
very
ready
much
to
in
do
dispute.
so, open the plastic pouch and remove the bag.
Similarly, we're
Flip
going
it
to go
over
to
your head.
Taiwan,
Drop the
which
straps around
is
your waist and buckle up the front.
not recognized internationally,
Replace the vest,
especially
pull
by
firmly on
China,
the red cord only
People's
when
Republic.
exiting the aircraft. If your life vest does not
But
inflate
not meant to
automatically,
be
blow into
any
the mouth
offense to
for
anyone.
manual inflation. Each vest is equipped with a whistle and
Just
light. If necessary, this
representing
system can be used
every
as a
region
secondary
that we
emergency
can.
device. Please securely stow all personal items. Make sure your seatbelts are fastened and seat backs and tray tables are all in their full upright position.
Thanks
We
for coming in
remind you
here.
that
I'm
this is a
Mani
non-smoking
Afasi.
flight, and that includes vaping. Tampering with
Good to have you here.
or destroying the smoke detectors located in the laboratory is strictly prohibited by law. If you have any questions, thank you for flying with us again, and we hope you enjoy your flight.
Make sure our electrical set. Gen 1, Gen 2. So we can actually turn off the APU now. Actually, make sure our probes on. Electrics checked, rudder checked, nose wheel steering armed. Alright, and we can start our APU shutdown. Stop. The APUs cool down. Flaps 8 degrees. Yeah, what did you find, David? Thanks for stopping by. There's actually a flight on Air Morocco. Oh, is there? Yeah, I wanted to fly a Binter, I think. Get it different. I'd already done a Royal Air Merak the last 2 flights, so kind of want to get different liveries. I don't want to be on the same flight over and over again. What plane is that in, though? Probably a 737-800. This flight is usually flown in an ATR-72, but I don't have an ATR-72 that flies well, and I haven't purchased a Aware one. But maybe in the future. All right, let's check our trims. 7.3. 7.3. Thrust reversers armed. Flight instruments checked, FMS, brake temp check. Get our, I think we already got taxi because we're doing VFR. Yep. Alright, we're ready to go. Parking brake. Taxi lights on. Make sure. Alright, going runway 4.
We're prepared for takeoff.
I'm not sure if... I'm sure Royal Air Merak has more planes than the 737-800, but most of the flights I've done with them, I've been flying in the A320 because I don't have a 737, unfortunately. Okay, we're going to get on to taxiway Tango 2. Stay off a hotel. Hotel's just going to take us direct to the runway. That's actually... I'm off the runway. We were landing 04. We're going to set nav and speed. Set our altitude 14,000. Both our flight directors on. They are already on, actually. Having speed. Hopefully our autopilot works, otherwise I'll have to fly this by hand the whole way. This isn't a big deal, it's a short flight. So we're going to take this all the way down to Golf. I think we'll come on the runway at Golf. Foxtrot would give us more runway, but we are a small plane. Cut a little bit of the runway off. Is the real live air traffic in this game? Yes. You could get on IVAO, which is a little bit more relaxed. And then there's VATSIM, which is very, pretty serious, but they're very friendly too. They'll help out. Everyone's willing to help out. I haven't jumped on VATSIM in a while yet. I could have done that this afternoon, kind of looked into it. I'm actually still working on getting model matching, updating my model matching for the planes. Looking at what we got for VATSIM coverage right now, nothing over where we're flying. There is stuff for Lisbon and Portugal for our next flight, so if I had VATSIM set up and ready to go, I would be using that. I'm gonna have to get that ready because Europe is usually covered pretty well with VATSIM, and we're gonna be going into Europe pretty quickly on these flights. Next flight's going to Portugal. Then we're going to Algeria, Tunisia, Libya. Actually, we're going to the Middle East a little bit because we're going to be going Jordan, I think Kuwait, Oman, and Qatar. And I think Iran. And I'm not sure where we go after that, but we're going to be starting to get up into Europe pretty quick. Yeah, VATSIM's really good. Got all the other people, all the other pilots can hear them. ATC. If you're on Twitch, I see you're coming from YouTube, but if you're on Twitch, there's a, might be on YouTube also, a London controller. He's a guy on Twitch. He does ATC for one of the London airports. Along with flying a flight. Every time he does a stream, I think he does some air traffic control, and then he goes and flies a flight for his shift. Make sure. Okay. For takeoff check. Lights and strobes, fuel X-flow manual. Vines in the way.
Laayoune Tower Binter 6103 at runway 04 ready for departure, departing straight out.
And I'm trying to find the
Binter 6103 QNH 30.09 wind 053 at 12. Straight out departure approved. Cleared for takeoff runway 04.
Cleared for takeoff runway 04 Binter 6103.
our fuel X-flow. We're gonna have manual. The overrides are off. Okay. Ready to enter the runway. And look on the Navigraph chart, the windsock should be over here. Okay, let's check. Ready for takeoff. Stabilize at 40%. Max power. Takeoff, go around power. Go max. Positive rate, gear up.
Enter 6103, leaving my airspace frequency change approved.
Laayoune Tower Binter 610 frequency change.
Go back
Laayoune
to
approach
climb.
Binter 6103
Taxi
is
lights
timed
off.
2 miles northeast of
First
Laayoune,
thrust is off.
2,400 feet. Request flight following. Binter 6103, Laayoune approach. Squawk 5056. Squawk 5056 Vinter 610 tree.
Vinter 610
Standard
tree,
pressure.
radar contact 3 miles north of Laayoune, 3,700 feet. QNH tree, 0.009er.
Roger Vinter 610 tree.
Engage the autopilot. Climb at 250 knots till 10,000 feet, and then we'll climb 290. Oh wow, Costy's we're right on top of Costy. It'll be a quick flight. Didn't get to see Laayoune last night. Kind of out here in the desert. Little inland on this river. The Sequet El Camino.
Vinter 610 tree, contact Canary Center on 119er decimal tree. Good day.
Kind of barely shows up there.
119er decimal tree Vinter 610 tree. Canary Center Vinter 610 tree 8,300 feet.
Vinter 610 tree, Canary Center, QNH tree, 0.009er, continuous plan.
Now past 2,000 feet, you may turn on larger portable electronic devices. This is also a reminder to keep your seatbelt fastened throughout the duration of the flight. Not form a
Alright, so
line
it's such a
to the
short
left.
flight that I'm a
This
little
aircraft
nervous
is
about
equipped
making
with
sure I got
onboard
everything
Wi-Fi.
ready.
If you wish to connect to the Wi-Fi, you will be required to pay a small fee.
Uh-oh.
We do
That's
offer complimentary in-flight communication
Turn
to
off our
partners.
lights.
Connect to the Wi-Fi to find out more information.
Landing elevation airport is 77. I'm gonna go change that. That quick flight, we can already see the islands off in the distance. We're at our cruise level. Already to our first point. We're going to start our standard terminal approach pattern. Cost 1 pop-up.
As this is a shorter flight, you will not be able to offer in-flight service. Please let us know if there's anything you can do to make your flight more enjoyable and full of
Got to watch the throttle. We don't have auto thrust, auto throttle. Oh, I'm starting to get pretty quick there. Good approach. Want to put in ILS. To ILS Zulu. Runway 3 left. This. Here, direct intercept, and this is going to give us vertical speed. I feel like at Anita we should be at 5,000 feet right here. I think flight level 1.0.
Canary Center, Vinter 610 tree. Request clearance to transition Charlie airspace.
Venture 610 tree Canary Center. Cleared through the Charlie airspace.
Cleared through Charlie airspace, Vinter 610 tree.
Alright, so at Anita we need to be at max speed of 230 knots and 5,000 feet.
One of the passengers isn't feeling well. It's probably best to try to get help as soon as possible. How do you want to handle it?
Alright, so here we got PAX X. We have a medical issue. Let me pull that. A woman has fainted. Okay. She is. She's fainted. Melokule Ben Youssef. So how are we going to handle this? Well, we're just going to land as soon as we can in the Canary Islands. Gonna expedite the
Not a
flight.
problem. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a passenger aboard the aircraft that requires medical attention. If there are any medical personnel on board, please press your flight attendant call button.
We bumped autopilot off there. Okay, yeah, we don't need clearance because we're just doing VFR. Okay, 22 miles, staying descent. Never mind, it's further away from that.
Ivor Express train 828, you are 58 miles northeast. Descend and maintain 8,000 feet. Keep speed not above 230 knots. Expect VORD on the runway 21 right approach by Lima Papa Charlie 21 radial 22 DME are clear to
Supposed to
Lima
land in
Papa
the
Charlie.
opposite direction.
Ivor Express train 82 flight climb and maintain flight level 270.
They said
Ivor Express train 828 descend and
21 right
maintain 6,000
approach.
feet. Keep speed not above 230
let's
knots.
fix that. And then 21 right. Alright. same concept. We're going to need to. I guess we're descending around this, even though, again, I look at this, it says 5,000 feet. To me, it's well, that might be above 5,000 feet. It's closed. Oh, very good job. So Canary just completed his Lego Titanic model. Cool. We have a woman who's fainted here. Luckily, it's a short trip to the Canaries. Feet. We're going to descend vertical speed down to 200. We're passing by Ventura, second island, the Canary Island chain. Their closest point, the Canaries, are 62 miles west of Morocco. By plane isn't too far. It is a part of Spain. It's an autonomous community of Spain. Economically and politically European, having been colonized by Spain and is part of the European Union. We're descending to 12,000. Our top of descent is 21 miles. We're slowly descending early. I think our island's right over there.
Ivor Express 3828, contact Gran Canaria, approach on 121.3.
Tower Winter 610 tree is 45 miles east 13,400 feet with Oscar
Flying
to
into
land.
Lisbon next flight.
Winter 610 tree Gran Canaria Tower.
Right to the capital.
QNH tree 0.12 and tree 24 is 5.
We go
Left base runway
Gran
21
Canaria
right.
here to Lisbon. About an hour and a
Enter
half
left
flight.
base runway
Could be an
21 right
A320.
Winter 610 tree.
Hopefully James 9811M is still watching, because I know he wants to kind of see how we get going in the A320. Alright, we're coming in runway 21 right, UNH 30.12. Are we going to turn into Anita? It looks like we're just flying straight. How did nav get turned off again? Nav just keeps bouncing off. Alright, Anita, we're going to go send 300 feet per minute. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I just downloaded a whole bunch of scenery for Gran Canaria here and for Lisbon, I think Algeria as well. See how it turns out. Hopefully it doesn't crash anything. Expected arrival 10.5 minutes. ETE on the overlay says 6 minutes. Just about 12,000. Low descent. There we go, there's my underside camera. Heading for our runway is 1 right, 206. Just so weird descending at such a slow rate. I feel like here it's got 2,000 feet in it, so I can afford to go a little quicker. Clear to that flight level 4700. That one right there. All above 2500. There. Actually, you know what I didn't think of? I didn't think of the terrain. There might be a reason for all that.
Canix 478 heavy ready for departure runway 03 left ISR to lead.
Yeah, 4700. We need to be above 4700.
Cleared for takeoff runway 03 left.
Basically this area. Then get closer. So we're going to be coming in this way. Obviously 8500 because we do have that high point 6,000 417 feet.
Gran Canaria Tower, Iber Express tree 828, 14 miles north inbound 4DME, runway 21 right approach.
Now it wants us going down.
Iber Express tree 828, Gran Canaria Tower. QNH tree 0.12, wind tree 24 at 5. Cleared VORDME, runway 21 right approach. Cleared 4DME, runway 21 right approach, Iber Express tree 828.
And let's check the minimum for the approach. Grade and landing 337.
We have begun our final descent to Gran Canaria. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to select any crash one final time. Please ensure tray tables are stowed
Our
and
landing
seated in a
lights.
full upright position. Please also store any carry-on items either in the seat back pocket or under the seat in front of you. Please complete all Wi-Fi related tasks and stow any larger electronics.
Beating a little bit. I probably should have gotten slowed down. We were at a higher height. We have 2,500 when we get to. I think it's really overflying this curve. Where? Going? Yeah, he's really overflying it. The autopilot. Not smooth at all. Doing? Never gonna. It's just gonna keep wiggling back and forth. All right, we need now.
Iber Express tree 828, wind tree 24 at 5. Cleared to land, runway 21 right.
Supposed to be on an arc, and we're not on a very good arc.
Cleared to land, runway 21 right, Iber Express tree 828.
We have 2,500 feet. And we're going to descend to 1,900, and that's where we will capture the glide. So 5.6 miles out. Or we can get that heating for distance out. Where is this plane going? Just flying in circles. We're going completely at a complete loss what this plane is doing. This is the worst. This thing is overflying like crazy. It's trying to get on the arc or something. I don't know. What is
Gran
that?
Canaria Tower, Winter 52 114 miles, north inbound for DME runway 21 right approach.
Venture 5231, Gran Canaria Tower. QNH tree 0.12, wind tree 24 at 5.
EREF is going to be 136 knots.
Cleared VLR, DME runway, 21 right approach, Vinter 5231.
Disengage this autopilot. Follow it in ourselves.
Ivor Express 3828 exit runway when able.
Autopilot was kind of useless on this flight.
Ivor Express 3828 turn next taxiway.
We have a few planes in front of us.
Ivor Express 3828 turn next taxiway. Ivor Express 3828 contact.
Autopilot
ground on
not
121.7.
cooperating. We'll just fly it in by hand. Why it's so hard to just follow the line.
121.7 for Ivor Express 3828. Enter 5231 when 324 at 5. Cleared to land runway 21 right.
Cleared to land runway, 21 right, Vinter 5231.
This isn't Madeira. Kind of looks like it though. Kind of the same concept. Landing right on the edge of an island. Quite a few islands that do that though. We engage the autopilot now. Romeo Lima Papa 5-6. That's going to be 5.6 miles out. Okay. Now it's just
Venture
climbing too much.
5231, turn next taxiway.
Now we're going to descend. Should be descending to 1900.
Venture 5231, turn next taxiway.
Smokestacks there on the coastline, courtesy of a VFR pack from, I think, Puffin Flight. They've got 3 really cool, 2 VFR ones and then 1 firework one. Hey, 737 Baron, welcome to the show. We're just about to land in on Gran Canaria in the Canary Islands.
Venture 5231, turn next
Checking Spain
taxiway.
off our list of countries to visit. We will be coming back to Spain again, though. Probably Madrid. After we land here, I'm going to swap out planes, get on. I think we're going to be taking TAP Portugal in an A320 up to Lisbon. That'll be flight 74. This is flight 73 of my world tour.
Venture 5231,
We're going to take
contact
off
ground on
to Iberian
121.7.
Peninsula countries, Spain and Portugal, and then we're going to go back into Africa and cross off Algeria, Libya, or Algeria, Tunis, or Tunisia, and
121.7 for Venture
Libya.
5231.
Then off to the Middle East for a while until we get into Europe. Next stream, fly over North Korea. That's an idea. We could do that. Right, do we have lock?
Venture 610, tree with 324 in
I don't
flight.
feel like we have an ISO lock.
Cleared to land runway 21 right.
Clear to land runway 21 right, Venture 610.
Alright, we're gonna take this in manually because it seemed like it was just gonna go around on us. Yeah, 737 Baron, we could do that. Next stream. This stream we're gonna do a few flights on the world tour. Or at least the next flight I want to fly to Portugal. I was kind of looking forward to doing that, but could do a flight to North Korea. Over North Korea. Get on the ground and I'll make that decision. I have flown into North Korea on this world tour back in X-Plane. I even made a custom livery for Air Koryo, which is the North Korean airline. We are really high. Let's get the landing gear.
1,000.
They got one red light.
400. Minimums. 3 minimums. Minimums. 200. Minimums. 100. Minimums. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
down. I think that was a good landing. I didn't get to see my landing right there. We'll open the airport chart. Okay, looks like we're going to have to go all the way to the end of the runway. Missed our turnoff. While we're doing that, we can turn on our
Victor
APU
610
started.
tree, turn next taxiway.
Paramedics will be boarding the aircraft to assist the passenger. Please remain seated until further notice so that emergency
Alright, we're gonna have
personnel
paramedics coming on the
can
plane.
stop
We had a woman faint and needs medical attention. Oh, actually, I wish I'd gotten off at that taxiway. My favorite country? That's a hard question. I've only lived in two.
Victor 610 tree, turn next taxiway.
Now that I'm back in the U.S., my favorite country is... I really miss my home back in China
Victor
now.
610 tree, contact ground on 121.7.
When I was in China, I missed home in America.
Going to 121.7.
Favorite country to fly? I don't know.
Tree.
Not sure. I mean, most of the countries I've flown in the simulator here in Microsoft Flight Simulator have been Africa, and there's been some beautiful places. Probably Rwanda, Kenya, for the views. Favorite country? Kind of a hard one. Maybe China. Besides my home country. Was my home for 8 years. Where my wife is from. A lot of friends and family. I downloaded scenery for this area, and I haven't been able to see it. Probably won't be able to see it. The city near here. Probably only good for us if we're VFR.
Gran Canaria ground, Vinter 610 tree, request taxi to parking.
Victor 610 tree, taxi to general aviation parking using taxiway Romeo tree.
Taxiing to general aviation parking via taxiway Romeo tree, Vinter 610 tree.
Alright, we're gonna taxi. We're not gonna taxi at a gate. Or park at a gate. I don't think so. Maybe we will. The planes you see here are courtesy of Alpha India Group's traffic injector. Oh, and I guess we could go to a jetway. Other smaller. That's probably, those are Embraers. The other Binter jets. Slide into one of these spots. Parking brake is set. U is available. Taxi lights. Pull back engine. Engine shutdown. Connect our thought I had the APU on. I guess not. Okay, and I think it's giving us a get a jetway here. Yeah. Oh.
Gran Canaria ground, following 3003, with Oscar ready to taxi IFR.
Boeing 3003, taxi to and hold short of runway 03.
Alright, paramedics coming on the plane.
Romeo 12 Romeo 11 Echo Romeo 4 Romeo 3 Romeo 2 Romeo 1 Lima. Contact tower on 118 decimal tree when ready.
Turn off the seatbelts.
We're still deplaning.
Taxi to and hold short runway 03 left using taxiway Romeo 12 Romeo 11 Echo Romeo 4 Romeo
Alright,
3
let's
Romeo
see.
2 Romeo 1 Lima Boeing 3003.
Oh, she looks fine now. Oh, she's still there. Oh, she's walking off under her own power. That's not how you shut down this plane, but kind of what happened. Just turn off all the hydraulics. Probes. Shield. Fan. The radar. Turn off the yaw. Dampers and all that good stuff. All right. While the passengers are getting off, I'm going to pull open Atlanta. 16th person to arrive at Gran Canaria Airport. And reviewing the flight. You can see the autopilot was having a hard time with that. It's just supposed to be a nice arc right here. And flying it by hand. Smoother than that. Yes. Landed 66.75 feet per minute. 1 for G-force. 1,000 kilograms fuel burn. Flight time 37 minutes. And we're gonna pull up world map on in Canary Islands. There it is, Canary Islands and Spain as a whole. Gets its flag filled in. Next time we'll check off Portugal, then kind of come across North Africa. So I'm going to put on, go set up the next flight, and hopefully we'll keep the stream going. If I don't, I'll let you guys know what's going on for dinner. We can get this flight, and if not, we'll do a stream a little bit later. We'll do a separate, we'll start it up again. Until then, hang out if you haven't already. Follow the channel on Twitch, hit the subscribe button, like button, all that stuff on YouTube, and keep commenting. I'll see you in a few minutes.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'm Martin Wenzel. We are at Blaise Diagne International Airport in Dakar, Senegal. And we're going to be flying today to Modibo Keita International Airport in Bamako, Mali. Flight 67 of our world tour. And it's based on Air Senegal 301. Usually flown using an Airbus A319. But I'll be using FlyByWire's A32NX mod for the Airbus A320 Neo, and be using the Air Senegal colors created by Unit Death, and we'll be using Alpha India Group's traffic and Bijan Habashi's for season pack. You can already see a couple other Air Senegals here, courtesy of Alpha India Group's traffic. All right, so let's get the plane set up. Do our cockpit pre-flight, make sure our parking brake is set, wipers off. Spoilers retracted, flaps retracted, engine masters off, ignition normal, thrust levers idle, anti-skid on, landing gear down, fuel quantity. Start getting that fuel on board right now. Get our sim brief. And fuel, we need 7,240. Oh, I didn't want instant. Real. 7,435 minutes. All right, we got that going. Fuel coming on board. There we go. Trying to center up. Do our cockpit preparation. Battery 1, 2 on. Sure why my lighting is having problems with the lighting. Internal power on. Oh, there's the lighting. Strobe lights set to auto. Our Deers 1